It's Wednesday, October 11th here at the Desert Marksmen range here in Palmdale. I just got done setting up targets at 300, 400, 500, and here at 600 yards. So we're going to go ahead and do some little bit of shooting today. I wanted to re-verify dope and bust out the lightweight build, which I haven't shot in a while, but we'll get to that in a few moments. But let's go ahead and get back down to the firing line. I know there's a couple guys at the gate waiting for somebody else, so I know there's going to be some people here at the range. So let's go ahead and get down to the firing line so that we can get our equipment out and we'll start shooting. Before we get started this morning, wanted to point out that this is the first time I brought out the lightweight build in over a month because I had taken it apart partially in order to get a part build, and that part being the Sawtooth Rifles Arca rail. If you follow my Instagram, you know that I got this built by Sawtooth Rifles, and it's it's rooted because if you've been following my build and my testing of this new lightweight build, with this HNT26, which has an Arca dovetail milled into the carbon fiber forend, but that dovetail is not to spec, so it doesn't fit really right stuff clamps. Like it's too narrow, and so it does slide. And if you have an adjustable clamp or an Arca or a screw knob clamp, it's fine, but with a lever lock where it's non-adjustable and it requires it to be within a specific width spec, it does slip. I acquired an MDT Arca rail, which doesn't fit this forend exactly, so it's kind of off. You can put it one way or another way, but it's not on the rail correctly, and I just didn't like the way it was built due to the fact that the HNT26 has 4.5 M-LOK slots, where it's 4 continuous M-LOK slots with a half gap, and it's a half gap where there's no slot and then another half slot, and so it's kind of awkward in terms of trying to find an Arca rail that fits it with the M-LOK recoil lugs. So I acquired a really right stuff universal rail for M-LOK, and that fit fine, but unfortunately it does slip because there's no recoil lugs that fits in the M-LOK slot. So when it's tightened down or whatever, and you have something that's even tighter onto the rail, like the bipod, then the whole unit slips on recoil, and so that was a problem. So I was looking around to find something that would fit the HNT26 4.5 M-LOK slots, and I found Sawtooth Rifles under their Dependabilt brand. They've been making Arca rails. They make them custom fit for various, or specific fit to various chassis, and they didn't have one for the HNT26. So I reached out to Sawtooth Rifles, and it's Matt of Sawtooth Rifles, and I asked him, hey, can you make one for the HNT26? He said, yeah, he could, but he would need my forend because I guess he doesn't have a chassis. So I went ahead and just sent him my forend, and a few weeks later, he came back with an Arca rail for me, and it fits exactly to this HNT26, and so we're going to try that out today. But I have no doubt it's going to work correctly, but it is a Arca rail that fits the 4.5 M-LOK slots, but it also has the R-lock, or the really right stuff lock, notches in there, so it does fit the new clamps where it does have the recoil lug in there, so it's going to be pretty stout as far as not moving at all anywhere in the system. So it looks pretty good, and as far as the actual width spec, it's to spec. It fits all my clamps just fine, the non-adjustable clamps, so we're good to go there. So shout out to Sawtooth Rifles. If you're looking for an Arca rail for a specific platform, definitely check him out, because it looks like he has quite a few different Arca rails for different chassis, MDT, MPA, KRG, a bunch of them. So check out the site, Sawtooth Rifles.
That's odd. Why'd it go low?
So shooting at 294 roughly, 294.2, and it says 1.04. I'm needing 1.1 actually right now. And but also my first shot went wide left. I did put on a 1/10 of a mil left because I thought I needed that to fine tune my 100-yard zero, but I'm thinking that's too much. And amazingly enough, there's wind out there that's pushing me to the left another 1/10 of a mil. So I had 2/10 of a mil hold right with one left on. So I'll take off that mil left on the gun, and I'll favor about a 1/10 of a mil right for the next target, which I need to get a true range on. So this is 1.8. Let's see how this goes. I'll favor a 1/10 of a mil right. Okay. Waterline is good. Just the windage. I'm gonna put on 2 right, 2/10 right, just for the sake of this is waterline testing. Okay, that's good. We got, I think 2 rounds is good enough to confirm that. Let's double check that other target. All right, 496 line of sight, 499 actual, 499 line of sight, then 496 actual. I'm always using the actual, like the angle modified. I've heard that you're supposed to use the true distance and then put the degree. I've heard that's better, but I don't know. I don't know what other people's opinion are. So do I put in 499.2 and put 6 degrees, or do I put 496.2 as my distance? But I've always been using angle modified range. Maybe I need to start using angle of attack to target or whatever. All right, 496.2 says 267, so we'll go 27. I've got 2/10 mil right on the gun. I think I got the target in frame on this camera. Hopefully I do. Actually, let me go ahead and adjust that camera so you can see it. Got 2/10 mil right on the gun. I'll shoot center. Dead on. Waterline that one more time. Dead on. That gun shoots. All right, 2 rounds confirmed. All right, let's go look at that. What supposedly is 600 yards. And wow, my velocities, my last 3 shots, 2700, 2703, 2700. Slow's good. Also, some new equipment out here at the range. Also on this rifle, if you notice on the scope here, my Leupold Mark V HD 3.6 to 18, I do have 2 new turrets or turret caps. So this is the Leupold speed dial supposedly. And the reason why I went with this, I saw it online. I didn't realize it existed, but it basically has less hash marks. It's like 10.5 revs or whatever per 10.5 mils per rev, but what it does is eliminates that 30, 21 up to 30, which you don't really need. I think it's just excessive. So what it does is it spaces out the hashes a little bit, or makes the hashes finer, and it makes the numbers bigger, so it's easier to read, which I appreciate. But on the side here, the windage knob, or the windage turret, you notice that this is not the Leupold windage turret, because the Mark V HD has that capped turret where you take it off and then you adjust and you put the cap back on. But this one is from DI Precision. This is their wind dial or whatever, and this competition wind dial. And if you notice, it has hash marks that go up to the line here on the bottom of the scope, which if anyone uses a Mark V HD, you realize that line, the small line they put on the inner turret, is like impossible, like nearly impossible to see from position. So it's nice to have this windage turret where you actually have hash marks delineating, like, you know, up to the body, so it's really easy to read. My 600-yard target's actually 597.3 line of sight, 593.8 angle modified range, 6 degrees. For 594, it's 3.57, so we'll do 3.6. And we'll see how that goes. How many rounds I got? Just one? Put two. I don't want to waste ammo here. I only need 2 rounds to confirm. All right, let's see here. Where are we? I don't want to adjust my camera. I think my target cam's good enough right now. Hopefully it's relatively in focus. All right, let's see what we got here. I got 2/10 on the gun. I'll put another, I'll leave 2/10 on there. I don't think the wind will be that much of a factor. Famous last words. All right, let's see how this goes. Okay. So let me readjust my gun here. Okay, I do need more wind, apparently. Need 4/10. It's all right. The waterline's good though. I'll hold right edge. I think we're good on the waterline. Let me do one more shot just for fun. One more shot just for fun. One more shot, favor right edge. On the waterline. We're good. Let's go drive out and take a look, and we'll let our gun cool down, our barrel. It's not that hot out here, but this is a carbon fiber pencil barrel, so it does heat up, or it does dissipate heat less. Came out here to the 600-yard target, taking a look at it. I think I had 2/10 on the gun, and I just fired straight away, and it went left about 1/10, another 2/10 of a mil. Tried to favor a little bit right and hit here, and then favor right again, hit here. So as far as windage is concerned, you know, it is what it is with the wind, but I'm very content with the waterline here. This is no more than about 2 inches, 2 inches elevation at 600 yards. Well, 594, 595. So this is pretty good. I am content with my dope here. So I think we're gonna be good out to at least 600 confirmed with my load and my data. So I think we got some good data to work with if and when I decide to go shoot a match with this gun. I'll go ahead and paint this and at least cover up these shots, and then we'll go from there. Taking a quick look here at the 500-yard target, or roughly 496, I think I said. But we got 2 impacts here. 1, 2 within an inch. That's like about an inch apart here. This is really good. Again, on the waterline, 2/10 of a mil dialed on. So I am very content with the data we have for this gun. Fired 16 rounds. My first shot of the day was out of a cold, clean bore, fully cleaned. 2661 feet per second, but after that, the second shot was around 2696, I think, and everything's leveled off at around 2700. I have one errant shot here, 2687, but we're looking good. Our average is 2697, which is where I would expect it to be, even with that first round anomaly. So we're looking pretty good. SD's 11.2 is not that great. Hope to be better, but hopefully we'll be okay with this load. Basically confirmed my trajectories and my dope for my lightweight build with the ammo that I'm planning on using for any matches. But this is a set of 15 rounds of the same ammo. See the recipe here. We got Alpha Munitions brass, 42.2 grains of H4350 with the Berger 144 grain long range hybrid target. But if you notice here, the primer is a CCI 34. I think that's the 34, whatever the small rifle military primer is. So these are the mil primers. And I acquired a brick of these because I was interested to see if they shot any better, or just as well rather, as a CCI bench rest primer, because I'm using CCI BR4s, which are very expensive now. And I've still got several bricks left from my old stock, because I haven't bought primers in years until recently when I bought these military primers. But I did get a brick of small rifle and large rifle mil primers from CCI. We'll see how those work out, but I want to go ahead and chrono these and do some quick group testing to see how these run. Sorry, I keep taking my head out the gun to take a look at the screen here, because I have it aimed at the camera lens for you guys. All right, those 5 rounds, we're looking at, other than the first shot, which was low, I think it was a 2682, we're looking at, wow, we're looking pretty good. So I think these primers, there might be, there's only a 5-round sampling, but that's not bad. And just an FYI, probably not a good idea to just directly move primers without working up, but I've been reloading for a while and I've never had that much deviation on a primer before where it would kill my, like, be a catastrophic load or change in my load. So I felt comfortable doing that. We got no primer signs of high pressures, so we look good. So compared to CCI BR4 off a very small sampling, looks like we're about the same. We're going to push 5 more rounds. Maybe I'll push it at the 600-yard target just for fun. We're going to go ahead and push 5 rounds onto that 600-yard target, which is actually 594, which we're needing 3.6. Let's see how this goes. I think we'll need, what is it? Favor right, about 4/10, 3/10. Let's do 4/10. I painted over my water line, so try to hold it center. Low right. That's not good. Why am I low right? It's probably a shooter problem. Probably bad shouldering. We'll see here. Okay, that was better. But too much wind. Much better. We're on the water line.
I've noticed that when I do drop a shot low, I think it's because of the way I shoulder the gun. I think I need to do a better job because I think I'm dipping the rifle down on the buttstock sometimes when I shoot, and that's probably what causes these misses. Not low, but rather, sorry, I'm somehow pushing up on the gun rather on the stock, not dropping the stock, but coming up on the stock. I need to do a better job of shouldering it and making sure that this gun comes straight back. Did I hit? I didn't hear a... Did I miss that?
One new piece of equipment that I brought out to the range today is this green binocular that you see right here. If you notice the hat that I'm wearing, it matches the brand that's on this binocular, and that is Swarovski. If you follow my Instagram, you probably saw me post a story that I acquired these, and these are the Swarovski EL Range TA 10x42 laser range finding binoculars. And I still have my Swarovski NL Pures, they're in the vehicle, and I don't plan on selling those. However, the reason why I bought these is because I have been becoming more and more disappointed with my Sig Kilo 6K 8x32s in terms of just glass quality. They're a great laser range finding device, but for glassing and just like observing, they are pretty bad. And I have been looking to get another binocular, laser range finding binocular with better glass quality, better image quality. And I was targeting the Leica Geovid Pros. However, I've heard quite a few people make negative statements about the HUD. It's slow. It doesn't return values fast enough for them. And it sounded like it was worse than the SIGs. The SIG returns the distance pretty quickly, but it takes about 2 seconds to cycle through the system. In terms of the 6K, it goes distance, elevation, then windage, 2 second cycles. I think that's fine, but I've heard the Leica's slower, and I didn't get a chance to try them because I have no way to test them out. And so I started looking at the EL Range TAs, and I knew that the glass quality is going to be good. The questions were going to be, is the ballistic solver going to be any good? And two, is the laser going to be any good? The Leicas have applied ballistics. The Swarovski EL Range TAs have their own company proprietary one. They could have sourced it from somewhere, like open source freeware algorithms, who knows? But it's not applied ballistics. And two, the laser is, it may not be on par with SIG, we don't know. However, in my testing, I was getting distances out to 2,000 yards. 2,200, I think I was able to get on reflective and non-reflective. I don't think they were very reflective objects. I was glassing cars out to distance, etc. And it seemed to return values very quickly. In terms of glass, it's really good. I will say that the eye relief is kind of funky for some reason, the eye box. There's plenty of eye relief for my glasses, but for some reason I just can't get my head in the right spot or my eyes together. I think it's kind of a a person to person in terms of your pupillary distance and whatnot, how far your eyes are apart, and getting that right balance, especially when you're using glasses. I did notice though that I am noticing though in sunny conditions that there is a bit of a haze at the bottom. At the very, very bottom edge, 6 o'clock. So I don't know if that has to do with the way, as in the right barrel, I don't know if that has to do with the laser or not and the HUD. So I was going to ask about it. It's not something I'm too concerned about. The EL Range TAs do have that Swarovski field flatteners, or they call it Swarovision, which I appreciate. I think it's really good. A lot of people don't like it. I've heard the reason why people don't like it is because it makes them nauseated, because the way it might look artificial in terms of how it flattens the image, or like it makes it, the whole image seems very perfect, right? There's no barrel distortion, which seems more natural to people. So I've heard that's why some people don't like it. And personally, I don't get that nauseated feeling, or I don't get like dizzy or anything. So I like the field flatteners. Now, right now, just in these conditions, which are pretty bad, we've got sun directly in our face, and I'm looking in very hazy conditions because of the burn off of that humidity, and we're looking in shaded areas. It's really good. I think the colors are a little flat. It doesn't have that poppiness I think you would expect. But granted, these are in hazy conditions. In either case, this is what I have as right now, and I'm gonna run these in terms of for a field binocular. And coincidentally, the 2024 NRL Hunter season was announced, or like the schedule was announced last week or this past week. And I do plan on shooting a couple of those matches. So that's kind of why I'm prepping for that. So hopefully nothing happens like this past year where I got sick and I couldn't go to the one here in San Diego. But definitely anticipate I will be going to at least that one and a couple more. So anyway, we'll put these through its paces and see how these go. I brought out the 700 Police and 308 with me just to get some practice while I've got targets set up. Don't know what the velocities are for this ammo, I totally forgot, but we'll just take it on faith that what's in my Kestrel is still accurate. So I missed. Of course, we do have wind. And I should probably favor right. There you go. Should have favored right that time. Cool. This is a different load. I think that first three shots were AR comp. This is Varget. All right, well, let's try this. This is that 500-yard target. I think we got 2.6 with a 2/10 offset. We're gonna hold right edge. Miss to the right. The wind looks like it's going right to left, but oh, low. We're low. That was straight center. Okay. All done, about to get out of the range. I didn't fire many rounds today. About 30 something, 31 rounds in the 6.5 and another 20 in the 308. But I got a lot accomplished in terms of I just came out here to make sure that my ballistics were good, got some good environmental data to go along with those ballistics, and now I pretty much have some confidence in my gun, at least out to 600, and that I know that the ballistics should be okay according to the Kestrel. I think the next step will be to try to get some time trying to make sure that my ballistics in the EL Range TAs are spot on with my Kestrel's data, because this is not applied ballistics. Again, I said earlier, this is Swarovski's sort of in-house proprietary system or calculator or algorithm. And so everyone I've talked to who owns the EL Range TA said that they've had no problems getting the internal calculator to align with true data or their true ballistics. So if AB is correct for you, you can adjust your system such that you adjust the BC in that you're putting into the calculator to kind of cross the same trajectory as what you have with your applied ballistics or whatever calculator you have that you know is good. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a review on these after I get some time using these, because I think it begs a little bit more in-depth usage before I can give an assessment aside from glass quality. I think everyone everyone's going to be concerned about the laser, which I think so far is pretty good. I have been able to range out various objects to 2,000 yards without issue, and it's really fast getting that reading. Now, I think the only other thing is just the ballistics, whether or not the ballistics are correct. And I really need to get some time at a longer distance range, even longer than this, and try to spend some time double checking the calculator against the Kestrel and against what's in reality, what I'm, shooting on the steel. So we'll figure that out. Maybe it's in the desert, or maybe I find a range I can go to. That's the Apollo range, which is kind of south of me, which has steel out to various distances. That might be a good place to go test out. But we'll see. In any case, that's it for today. You saw the new Sawtooth Rifles Arca rail that I did write a short blog article on, so check that out. You saw that I have 2 new turrets for the Mark V HD, the Leupold speed dial, which is for the elevation knob. Then I have DI Precision competition wind dials for the windage dial, of course. And then this new piece of kit, the Swarovski EL Range TAs, which I am very eager to own. And we'll put it through its paces. I mentioned NRL Hunter. So the 2024 season the calendar was just announced a few days ago. So I'm very eager to definitely shoot at one of those matches. I got the gear for it. I've got the gun for it. I think I got the data for it. I just need to go out and do it. So I've been trying to spend some time spending time behind the glass, because I think that's the key thing to NRL Hunter. Having never shot one, everyone tells me it's all about, just finding targets, because after that, hitting a target is relatively simple. I mean, obviously there'll be small targets. They'll try to trick you, or give you challenging targets and maybe challenging positions. For the most part, that's a prone match, and it's a very stable position match. What we need to do is be adept at finding the target in 4 minutes, or less than 4 minutes, because you got to also fire in 4 minutes. So what I've been doing is, there's a wilderness park in my area. They call it the Wilderness Park. It's basically a very large area, and I don't know, it's a few square miles at least. I'm thinking in my head, 3. Yeah, it's got to at least be 15 square miles in area. I don't know acres, but anyway, it's a lot of terrain. It's desert terrain, but there's going to be a lot of rocks and foliage. So what I've been going out there every so often is just bringing a tripod, hiking out a mile in, and just been glassing, spending time behind the glass, gridding areas, and just looking at objects, just trying to make sure I can spot details and stuff, because I don't glass like that often. And so what I need to do is train myself to look at areas and find objects and just discover objects in grids. And I figure that will be the most prep that I'll need for NRL Hunter. Shooting, it's we shoot all the time, so it's easy to get practice in, but I'm going to be practicing glassing in the next few months. So that's what I'm going to spend my time on. Outside of that, NRL 22, our next match is October 22nd, fourth Sunday of the month. Registration is open, so if you want to shoot NRL 22, West End Gun Club, come on down and shoot the match. Anyway, that's it for today. Wednesday, October 11th, here at the Desert Marksmen range in Palmdale. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog.